Greetings and hello. Hi, my name is Lawrence, and I am the Blue-Dyed Emperor. Today is Thursday, and I wanted to do a few things before I start my reading. First of all, I wanted to, a friend of mine from a blast from the past gave me, and I'll share with you all, and maybe a lot of you may know what this is if you're from Hispanic descent, a believer in candles and incense and other such wonderful things. I do. Just love the smell. If nothing else, if it's not even spiritual, it certainly helps you to get into that meditational state of calm and relaxation, which is just a wonderful thing. And I'll show it off to the other camera here, right, so we can zoom in on this. And what this is a candle that has incense on the inside. I'll show you here too as well, on the inside. But it signifies, notice the different colors that represent the different chakras in the body. Wonderful thing. I'm lighting this candle today for all the people I love. And we'll talk about love in just a second, but for all the people I love, my children, my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my tribe. See, I'm man enough to admit that I'm wrong. Our tribe. There's a big difference, right? So this isn't me. This is us. So I want to do a couple of things. The last reading I had, which wasn't done, which I released last week, that I hadn't done in 2 months. And I told some harsh truth, right? I mean, truth could be painful. Truth could be fearful. But truth, nonetheless, is just that. It's the truth. I think it's good to have a sense of healthy fear, because without fear, what is there, right? Well, how do we keep ourselves from doing the things that we shouldn't be doing and just running rogue? So fear is a God, a spiritual, a source-given gift to allow us to control inner urges or outer urges or influences in our lives, or allowing things that we know are not good in our lives. Fear protects us from ourselves, from others, just like love. And we'll talk about that, but this is a road opener, right? It talks about success. There's a path that shows horseshoes, dollar signs, love, health, salud, exito, dinero, money. And this shows a path, right? A road here, a path. Now, that path can either be fearful, it could be joyful, it could be loving, it could be many, many things. But again, fear is not something to stagnate you. Fear drives us. It drives us to be better people. Think about things that are happening right now in this world. There's a lot of death, right? And it's scary. It's scary that potentially you and everybody around you could get sick, could pass on. It's happened, and I know people that it's happened to. So, but fear keeps us safe. Fear creates the inner truth for ourselves, right? There's no shame in fear. There's no shame in being afraid. Everybody should be afraid. And this, one of our wonderful followers and sisters of our tribe, CRU, would say, last time I did my reading, she said, love, not fear. Well, CRU, I believe you. I love everybody. But I don't agree with you, right? Fear has to be in our lives in order for us to be productive, in order for us to be protective of ourselves. Right? Because without fear, I mean, everybody would just do anything they wanted to. Go down the wrong path, the wrong street, be with the wrong people. What a life that would be. So I love this sentiment. But I disagree with you about fear. Love instead of fear. Love has probably caused more pain in this world's life than fear has. It's okay to be fearful.
Sorry, I don't know that.
I just want to say that love in the wrong context has done more harm than good. We've fought wars over love. People have fought to conquer lives and killed millions of people over time in the name of love. So fear, it's not a bad thing. So anyways, having said that, I'm going to light this candle for all of you. Even if you're not followers, if you're not a part of this tribe, a part of this channel, I'm still lighting this for you because I want you to have success, abundance, love, the right kind of love, not that stupid love, a healthy love, right? I want you to have health, physical health. And we'll talk about physical health here in a second too before we get on to the reading. And the exito, and I see this road, to get from where we're at today to where we need to be tomorrow, all these things that I've just mentioned are contributors to that road. It allows us to see the exit door from where we are today. Think about this just for a second. And if everyone was rich, everybody had everything they needed in this world, what lessons would we learn? Why would we need faith? If everybody had everything they need, why would we need faith? Why would we need a God? Why would we need to believe in source energy if we had everything? If there was absolute equality across the board, talk about hate, jealousy, and everything else, because this world, and I hate to say this, the people on this planet can't appreciate being satisfied with what they have. I think what's happening now in our world with this the virus and a lot of the other things, the world is changing. Source is telling us, guess what? You guys keep scrambling, keep hating, keep fighting. And I told you last week about 2 guys at Wells Fargo. Horrible guys that belittled women, that belittled their staff. Thank God that I don't work for them. But they're the devil's reincarnation. I mean, to live in happiness based on other people's sadness, it's ridiculous, right? I think what's happening now is if you strip away everybody's belongings, everybody's things that they strive so hard, work so hard to gather all their lives, scramble, then you die, and it's here, left here for somebody. It's no good to you where you're going. It serves no purpose. Yet you still fight. I'm including myself. I can't believe it. I'm upstairs, no windows are open, the air conditioner's on, yet there's the fly. We got a new baby puppy, I showed you last week, but the friggin' fly must follow him. But anyways, you have to have a certain level of fear, but with that fear should create respect for other people, right? If you really say love, and love doesn't necessarily mean, when I say I love you, that doesn't mean I want to sleep with you. And in fact, it means the absolute opposite. Love, and even in Jesus's words, in the Bible's words, and forget about tarot card reading, forget about religion. If we were to believe what's in the Bible, what Jesus said when he talked about love and said, I love you, I love you, I love you, to men, to women, he wasn't inviting them into his bed. He was inviting them into the belief that there is a better place in unification of a belief about kindness. Love doesn't mean sex. Love doesn't mean I'm committed to you for life. Marriage is a contract. Love, what is that? You should love everybody, everything. I am guilty, and I'll be the first to admit I'm guilty. Guilty. I hated certain people for things that they did to that I felt that they did to my son, that they influenced him the wrong way. Instead, I should have hated the way I felt, the anger I felt towards these people. Yes, I said it. I'm saying it. I'm guilty of anger and hate because it felt so personal to me. It felt so personal. Here I have this beautiful, and not he's not beautiful. My God, his hormones are probably just raising ridiculous, but this perfect Zen life of father and sons. And that was just turned upside down, and I took it so personal. I felt anger and hate, and I was guilty of that. I'm today releasing that with this. So I'm lighting this candle for all of us in the hopes that we can find love, companionship, community, success, health, money, and love. And I don't mean money to become rich. I mean money to be able to survive during these times. And because you can't live on earth without money, but it doesn't mean that you have to be crazy rich in order to be crazy successful and satisfied with who you are and where you are in life. Money, houses, cars do not define you, nor do the people out there that are judging you define you. So with that said, I'm lighting this in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. You say, Larry, you're getting religious. I'm not. You can replace that with source. Pater Filius et Spiritus Sanctus sunt on nomine Domini. I'm going to let this burn until it actually is completely burned. And we'll set that aside over here. And you notice we got our guardian angels with us today. Michael and Gabriel, as always, on the table. I'm going to put my beads on. I had some wonderful meditational times and just thoughts, and it came to this, brought me to this conclusion of what I just said. But also think about this. I found this, and they said this is a guided message. See that flower wrapped in baby bird's feathers. They say that feathers is the message, right? I got this when I first started doing these readings, not to and I tucked that in there just like that, so that Mr. Gabriel, my favorite patron saint, you say, oh my God, there's a favorite? No, there's not really a favorite. He is my favorite. But there's no judgment there, right? You can't love one son more than another. How can you love one guiding angel more than another? You can't. But I've always fashioned myself after Gabriel. Why, I don't know. So having said that, I'm going to give a ring that we all find harmony, a ring that we all find love, and I don't mean a companion, sexual relationship. Love as in camaraderie, community, support, understanding, forgiveness. And I can't be a hypocrite, and I had to come on here and admit that I was guilty of hate and anger. Guilty of it. And it was eating me up inside. Today I released that. I actually want everybody to know how grateful I am and the peace that you all bring me through your words, through your fellowship, through your sharing, through your messages. I love when you guys write. I'm also going to pull 6 numbers, whether you're an Aries, Libra, Cancer, Sagittarius, it doesn't matter. These numbers represent something that will happen in your life, and I mean it doesn't matter the signs. You know, I don't believe in horoscopes. I talk it only because people understand that language. Do I believe in it? Absolutely not. I believe we all make ourselves what we will ever be, right? To be preconditioned to be something or something else because you were born on some date. No. It's the energy that we allow ourselves to grow in and to immerse ourselves in within ourselves. I'll ask you something. The heart, when we talk about love, and everybody says, oh, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Well, interesting enough, if your brain dies, the heart stops beating. If the heart stops beating, the brain doesn't necessarily die. It continues to have electrical waves in it. Eventually it dies out because it needs the other components. But the energy, the source energy, and the reason why they talk about the third eye is because all the energy is focused here. It's not here. Love is in the imagination, the visualization, the inspiration that you see in yourself and that you promote to others. That's love. A marital contract, an agreement to be in a relationship with someone, that's not love. You can love them, but you love your dog. You love the grass. You love the way that the wind blows on your face when you're on the lake. How can love have 20 billion different reasonings and rationales? It doesn't. It has one meaning. It means everything that I said earlier. It doesn't mean sex. It doesn't mean marriage. It doesn't mean relationships. Yet love can exist within all those things. But it exists with all those things whether you're with somebody physically or not. Remember that. This candle will burn on. I'm going to pull 6 numbers. If this number comes out and it happens to be on your birthday this month, you will somehow realize a blessing. The first number out. I know. It's like, oh my God, how to read it? I'll read it out to you. Is number 14. The second number that came out of my hand at the same time, and my wonderful son wrote these, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to read, is the 24th. If the number has already passed for this month, look at next month, right? This still applies to you. Number 10. And do I believe in magic? No, I believe in the energy that I seen and that I felt and that called me to do this. 16. 2 more. And 2 more in my hand. Number 8 and number 31. So I'm going to leave those right there. I want everybody to know, even in these difficult times, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing was perfect before the virus. Nothing was going to be perfect during the virus or after the virus. It's how we build and construct ourselves, how we learn to embrace the reality and the truth of life. No one's lucky. We always say, oh my gosh, how come that person's always lucky? Or how come I'm never lucky? It's never luck. Ask yourself, why does that person always seem to be in the right place at the right time? Why do I never seem to be in the right place at the right time? Why do I never get any opportunities? Because if you sit and wait and you don't realize the energy that you emit outward to other people, to yourselves, that controls your destiny. Nothing will ever fall in your lap. It's not meant to happen that way. And imagine Source holding this big bowl of fruit, and there's all of us here down on Earth, holding this big bowl of fruit. Well, there's enough fruit to feed everybody. 1 piece of fruit for everyone. Now he sprinkles this fruit from this bowl and drops it all around Earth. There's enough for everybody. But one person picks up 5 pieces. The next person picks up 4 pieces, 10 pieces, 3 pieces. Why? Because everyone says, I need to worry about me, instead of making sure everyone is all right. Am I guilty of that? Absolutely I am. Would I share? Absolutely. And I told one of my neighbors that we'd share back and forth, and they said, hey, if you need this, we got it. And I said, if you need this, we have it. Should I do that for everybody? If they contact me and say yes, and I'm on here now, so now you know. But I've always been here to help, right? We've had people that needed jobs and help, and we've had wonderful people on here, and I've done everything I possibly can to help people, and I will continue to do that. But I need you to do something for me this time. And I never ask anybody for anything. I don't charge for readings. I don't. I have a price list for it, but I always say, yeah, forget it. Don't worry about it. You know why? Because internally, I don't feel good. Spiritually, I feel good about the message I give. And don't get me wrong, don't go down this path. Do I put myself on the same playing field as Jesus? No, but I want to emulate him. Would Jesus charge you to tell you a parable, a story that somehow made your life, your day better? Absolutely not. Nor can I. Be careful of readers that say, oh my gosh, I'm an energy reader. And they say, well, guess what? I'm pulling energy from everybody. Here's the energy I'm feeling. This could be you. This could be them, the other person. Well, how is that possible? If I'm focusing on you, how could it be the other person? Be careful about false preachings, right? There's no magic in tarot cards. None. And I say that every time, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it every day until I die. There's no magic in the cards. The energy that I put out and the messages that I give are messages I already know. The cards, I typically don't need them. I use them as a tool of visualization, because some people are visual, some people are audio, some people are touchy-feely in order to grasp, to understand. There's probably 10,000 methods, right? You say there's only 6 senses. But I think there's other ways to people understand, comprehend, a combination, a multitude, right? The variations of those. So think twice about putting beliefs in cards. Not cards. It's energy. Tarot, again, the cards in it by themselves are meaningless. We've talked about love. We talked about how to get love. We talked about going on a journey. We talked about financial, a path, a road, a journey. Think about these things that I've said to you already. Before we pulled any cards, I talked about forgiveness. Inner forgiveness. I'm forgiving myself for the anger I felt against my neighbor, not the husband and wife with the daughter, but who my son has been best friends with her daughter. Right? I blamed them for allowing this to happen at their house. Well, good God, it happens at other people's houses. My son called me yesterday. Well, can I bring my girlfriend over there and can we close the door? No. Well, I let them close the door one time, and little did he know, I'm sorry, I have security everywhere. So he broke his trust. He broke that trust that we had. I trusted him. I believed in his word. He broke that trust, so it'll never happen again. Never happen again. Do I forgive him? Absolutely. I love him. He's a young man trying to grow up and trying to find his sexuality, and I appreciate that. I really do. But I can't honor that behavior in my home. Can't honor it. So remember the things we talked about again. I'm going to go back to that. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about loving yourself and the path that you're on, and that money isn't everything, and it's not the solution to happiness. And at some point, if we don't know how to teach ourselves to be satisfied with what we have, rather than worrying about Bob Jones over here, the car over there, or this guy has a fancy car, or that girl has a fancy home, or whatever, why can't I have that? Why can't I have that? Wow. Think about that negativity involved in all those statements. If I wake up every day and say, guess what? I have food on my plate. And think of all the millions of people in this world that don't have that. There's got to be something in this life that you're grateful for. Something. Look at that every day. If it's only one thing, I don't care. Look at it every day and wake up and say, I'm grateful for this one thing. And then tomorrow, something else will be added to your plate. But to always say, why can't I, why can't I, why can't I? We sound like little children, little babies that have lost control, and yet we're adults. And we still play this evil game with ourselves. an evil game of inequality in our own minds. So are we not our own worst enemy? Should we not hate the things we do to ourselves as much as we hate the things that other people do to us? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hate yourself enough to love yourself, even in difficult times. And CRU out there, I know you're going to say, Larry, love not hate, love not fear. And I love you, CRU, for that. You're the voice of reason, and when days are dark. Anyways, I'm going to pull 3 angel cards. But remember the things we talked about and watch how the cards come out. There's a difference. Cards aren't magical. The message is magical. If you learn to meditate, you're going to be every bit as magical to yourself as I feel that source is to me. You say, wow, that's a powerful statement, Lawrence. You bet your sweet patootie it is. Spirit, oh, wow. 2 cards already popped out. Remember what I told you. I'm not even going to show you the cards yet. Remember what I told you. Remember what I told you about how the message comes out from me first. Every time. I don't just start reading cards and go, oh, and then make the story fit. I tell you the story. And the cards, the energy, and I'm getting goosebumps, the energy that I have controls what's happening here, not the reverse. Are you energy driven? And I want to, or egotistically self-risen? Think about that statement. Think about that. Think about that statement. Spiritually driven or egotistically self-risen. Here's our 3 cards. Remember the things I talked about, right? The things I talked about. I'll start with the first card first. This one's already turned up, but we'll start with this card right here. Relationships. Remember when I talked about the words I said? And we'll go through these cards here, one by one. Relationship. Your primary relationship is with yourself. I can't make this stuff up, people. And God. Or source, right? Not everybody believes in God or has to name him that in order to believe in that there's a higher purpose, a higher fundamental belief in why we're all here and that we all have a purpose. And every other relationship follows from that. To attract, heal, or balance a relationship, then snuggle more closely with your loving creator. I didn't say your neighbor, the person you say I love you to. Love everyone. Say you love everyone. Greet people. In the old days, they used to say I love you. And they used to hug everybody. And in Europe, they still kiss each other on the cheek. It doesn't mean that they want to jump your bones. You foolish people. God, and people are so jealous and so convoluted about the word, about the actions. I'm still shaking my head. I should have been born 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Then snuggle more closely with your loving creator. As you feel safe and loved within, so shall your other relationships bloom and prosper. Okay, I won't pick up the candle to show you what we talked about and what we asked for. Next card out is, there's nothing to worry about. People. You worry about food, you worry about gas, you worry about water, you worry about jobs, you worry about work, you worry about your kids, you worry about your husbands, you worry about your boyfriends, or your wives, your girlfriends. When do you worry about yourself enough to say, at some point, I have to feel satisfied with what I have now? Can you imagine never being satisfied your whole life? You get something today, you go out and you buy a Lamborghini, a Corvette, a Porsche, or a Lamborghini. Well, I said Lamborghini already. And you get it. 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, yeah. It loses its flavor after a while, like everything. Or you go out and you pick the perfect wife, the perfect husband based on looks. Guess what happens to those looks? In time, they fail as well. right? And that's why people trade people up like poker chips. People, come on. Fat, skinny, short, small, bald, hairy. People are so influenced by other people in society's vision of what a perfect person is that no one's ever happy. No one's ever happy. And if you say I love you, everybody thinks that, oh my gosh, he loves me, he wants to be with me. No, I don't. I really don't. I am perfectly satisfied where I'm at in my life right now. I was perfectly satisfied where I was in my life a year ago. Did I have more 5 years ago than I had today? Yes, I think yeah. As a matter of fact, I know I did. Was I upset and just absolutely, like everybody, we're upset about the loss of life and things when we don't understand our real purpose in life. At some point, you have to say, guess what? I have to believe in a bigger plan. Anyways, this says there's nothing to worry about. You are safe, and this situation is under perfect control of divine providence and universal order. Only infuse loving thoughts. Oh my God, there's that word again, loving, and emotions into a situation to ensure that your highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. The next one is angel card out is ask. Ask. Ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We're governed by many universal laws, and among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions, so we patiently await your request. Think about what I just said, free will. I was so angry with my son at 14 going out and having sex or experiencing that, but my God, I had to think about myself. Stop thinking about myself. Instead, I had to think about myself. I had to think about myself, about how guilty I felt, about the anger and the distance I put between us because of that. I felt personal. It was personal to me. Yet, I forgot to remember his free will. We as parents, we want to protect our children until the day we die. I did. Still want to. I'm trying to break free of that, to release the hypocrisy in those statements, right? I want to control my children so that they face no harm, face no sadness and love and sadness and pain about getting beat up or attacked or not having enough food or anything else. I need to release that. My son called me up and said, hey, can I bring my girlfriend over? And close the door. And I said, no, you can't. Did I feel bad about that? And I told him, I said, listen, if you'd rather spend time with your girlfriend or this person, he said it's not his girlfriend, but his friend, and close the door, you can't do it here, but you can go, please feel free to do it elsewhere. That's your choice. And I respect that. At that point, I knew I had released all the anger I felt. I didn't have to let it happen in my home based on my morality and the way I was raised and grew up and project that on him. I support him to do that and say, guess what? If that's more important to you than being here right now, we're okay with that. Me and your little brother is okay with that. And we both were. Me and my younger son talked about it, and we really were okay with it. And it was an odd release of pain and pressure all at once, like a huge block of burden lifted off my chest and shoulders. And at that point, I knew that I'd finally released that anger and pain that I carried. I mean, I was so frustrated with this process of watching my son grow up. My biggest disappointment, when I told him it was him and what he was doing, wasn't really him. My biggest disappointment was in myself, and that I had allowed myself to be a creature of this world's belief system. I'm lighting the sage when I say that, because think about what I just said, and I'm being vulnerable right now, but I didn't hate him or them. I hated myself for the way I made myself feel about what was happening to him. And I say to him, but it was his choice. And I told him yesterday on the phone, when he said something, I messaged him, I said, son, it's your free will. He said, oh, Dad, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go do this instead. I said, son, don't be sorry for the decisions you make in life. It's your life. Live it as you will. And people, some adults will probably say, oh my God, you're crazy. You can't just let your son run rogue. Well, I'm not. In my home, I have rules that cannot be broken. But I still have to allow him the ability to learn life for himself and not one that I promote or force upon him. I can still be happy with the rules that I have in here because it's my belief. But as a young child, I know he wants to be a young man, still a child in my eyes. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and call him a young man. Has to be able to have that freedom. That's love. It's that release. Some of you have already said and said some beautiful things about that. And I just absolutely love that. I want to talk about the energy this week. Not about signs or horoscopes for Libras, Aries, or Cancers, or anybody else. And not to say that I won't be doing those anymore. I certainly am. But today is a different energy. Through my meditation last night, I really just had some really vivid images and dreams and thoughts. And it led me to believe, why are we never satisfied with what we have? Why? When people in some countries are living in streets and dirt, eating, lying in the dirt, sitting in the dirt amongst bugs and flies and scorpions on the ground and snakes and stuff and lions and tigers living amongst them, being eaten. Some kids babies being snatched off, some by crocodiles, some by lions and tigers or hyenas or it doesn't matter what the animal is, because we live in a society where humans are animals towards each other. In Africa, there are probably less killings there because they believe in the community. They believe in the tribe. We use words here like the tribe as if it's a belief system. In most cases, it's a self-elevation of a word used that means community and unification that people use now. It's a catch-all phrase. Love and light has turned into a catch-all phrase. You have to believe in those things. And while I was gone, and I just want to say thank you to all the readers out there that because I was gone for 2 months, said, oh my gosh, I'm going to use these things. Readers are starting to say, oh, love and light. Only a small few. They know who I'm talking about. Others have started using, why should I stay or should I go reading? Listen, I love you, and I thank you for using these things, the tools and the things that I use. I want you to. I think it's fabulous. And it's a good thing I went away to see this, to come back to see this, because it means we're doing all the right things here on this channel, right? This tribe, and I don't mean tribe. As far as I'm concerned, this tribe, we actually do help each other. I know, right? We really do. And I don't mean just talk, right? We've had people do some just amazing things to reach out and touch and help other people. Anyways, the reading for this week. The first card I'm going to pull out is going to be on the overall energy. Overall energy for everybody. Right now for this week. And again, I don't pull cards. If they don't pop out, it means the energy that I'm conveying isn't the energy that's causing these cards to come out. I could force anything, right? I could flip cards over all day and I might as well be playing solitaire. Give me the energy for everyone this week. I'm going to say, no, not this week. I'm going to say from Friday, this coming Friday, to next Friday. What is the energy going to be? Oh, 2 cards. Let's talk about these 2 cards here because they came out together. So there's a story behind these, right? There's a connection, a collaborative influence between these 2 cards. We're talking about the 4 of Swords, and we're also talking about the 6 of Cups. Again, we talked about money isn't everything, right? We talked about being satisfied. Six of Cups talks about an abundance, right? A feeling of content, a contentment, right? Look at this card carefully and examine that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the faces on those cards. The cups are filled with flowers, not money. Remember I said we love our grass, we love our trees, we love our dogs, we love our pets. Well, guess what? In this card, there's rabbits, there's flowers, there's grass. They're content. This talks about childhood contentment, right? Because these are youthful people in this picture, right? They're not elderly people. There's a cat down here at the bottom here. I talked about these things, all these things. These things in itself, the new puppy we got brings great satisfaction and completeness to our lives. It may not to somebody else, but we're grateful for that puppy. So think about that. The energy that this card I'm telling you about is go back to that time in childhood, memory in your childhood. For all you adults, for all you younger people, hold on just a second. For all you adults, people over the age of 18 and on, go back to that point in time in your childhood where you remember being satisfied with whatever your parents gave you. Some nothing. Somehow just being there with them, their love, their companionship. And not all of us always had that. And for all those that missed out on true parental love and camaraderie and that bonding and that family tie, I'm sorry for that. But that doesn't mean that you could not experience an abundance of something in your life. Childhood abundance is what we should all take ourselves back to mentally, right? I remember wearing high water pants. Parents put me in high water pants with holes in them. I was still running around outside. I didn't give a rat's ass who seen me. Come on. And now, and I'm sitting here in my meditational robe. I don't care. But people now, you can't walk out the house without spending a half hour putting makeup on, or men 25 minutes looking for the right pair of shoes and shorts, or to make an outfit or something, or whatever else the case might be. I told you the overall energy here, and we talked about this being satisfied, right? The main thing. Of course, this card's going to come out. Be satisfied. The cards, I told you the energy came out. The Four of Swords, come on. This had to come out with that card. The Four of Swords talks about a period of waiting, contemplation. And I said, I need you to rethink this whole process about what's happening, about this virus and how it's causing the meat factories to shut down, the gas refinery plants to shut down, the chicken farmers, the farmers to shut down, the loss of millions and millions of jobs in a night, overnight, because we were never satisfied. How do you change that energy unless you strip people away from this? Unless you purge people themselves. Everybody that's dying, that has died, and I hate to say this, you guys are going to say, oh my God, I hate you for this. I don't know that they're not in a better place, right? Maybe they're the lucky ones that Source or God has chosen to take home. I don't know that, right? I don't know what your belief system is, but I feel that. So with this feeling satisfied comes this with that card for the energy is be patient, ponder, think. Take a rest period from all the stress in your world and your life about, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Stop asking yourself, what's going wrong? Start telling yourself what's going right. What's going right? Then Source will add something else right in your life. Be dogmatic, and dogmatic will be you. The next card I'm pulling out, since we have our energy for next week, the card of purpose. The card of purpose. What is this tribe? What is the general energy, the purpose of this planet, this world right now? Oh, that card flew. Look, guys, come on, you see this? That card flew, popped over on its own. I got to take it. What is the purpose? Look, I said that it is a new beginning, right? That there's a purging, a cleanses, a need to be satisfied that the world is changing from what it was. Remember I said this. Look what came out. I said, what is our purpose? Energy. Not from you, from source. Source. The star card. The star card. The star card talks about a new, just a mix of emotions, feeling, love, compassion. The star card represents a new beginning. Look at and I told you where the energy is. What did I focus, I put my hands in, and I told you what the energy is. I talk about our purpose, and I told you where does truth, where does energy really lie? Look closely at her forehead. Look closely at her forehead. The source energy. Remember I told you that? You guys, you have to follow along with these stories. I know you're thinking, oh my God, here he goes. He could have pulled this card out. He could have pulled it out. He's making it fit. I put my hands right here and I told you where source was. I said it wasn't here. And in this card, in this new beginning, you yourself have to know that the energy and your strength and faith and your ability to move forward lies within yourself, your own conscious. Your own conscious. That's the purpose. The mixing and blending. And I told you, a healthy love, right? That's a mixture. It's not a love, because love in itself is just deadly. Just deadly. You have to have a healthy balance of love, fear, faith, courage. See her mixing this stuff down here? The mixing of the two, coming from two different cups, the mixing of this into a pool of water, like an alchemist. It's a balance of all those things I talked about. It's about recognizing that the energy is within yourself, your head. The next thing I'm being guided to, spirituality. Let's talk about spirituality. And I'm not talking religion. Religion is tradition. It's a great thing to have. God only knows I believe in tradition. People told stories for decades and decades to their children. That card came out. I want to talk about spirituality. Wow. Spirituality. I'm talking about this. And we have the Three of Wands. A guy standing with his back, looking out towards the sea, and a ship. And people say, oh my gosh, this is waiting for your ships to come in. Okay, well, the ship is already there, right? It's not moving. It's sitting right there in front of him. He's not waiting for it to come in. He sees it. It's there. This card represents, and think about this, the Two of Wands, a decision. The third wand represents the journey. Ace of Wands, Ace of any cards, a new beginning. 2, usually a decision point. 3 is that you've already made a decision and now you're on that journey. You're beginning that journey. We talked about spirituality in that journey. We talked about, come on, I can't make this stuff up, you guys. The road. We talked about the road here, the journey, the path. Look this up. If you don't know, Two of Rods is a decision point. It's a divergence in the a path. Three of Rods. I've decided which path. The third rod now is at the pivotal point, the pinnacle, which says I've made my choice. Whether I went this way or this way, it doesn't matter which way I went. I'm now here with my decision and I'm on that journey. I'm on that path. Spiritually, you need to be on that path. You need to be on that path of meditational forgiveness and outwardly love. Outwardly love. I don't care. People think you're crazy if you say you love them. And if they say, well, oh my God, he's hitting on me or he wants to get with me. flatter yourself, people, when people say that to you. Learn to embrace those words, because there was a time and day when people literally, it's a word used, commonly used. Love and respect. Love and respect. I love you, Father. You say that to the priest. I love you, my son. And that's not my father. The next thing I'm guided to talk about here, we talked about the beginning. We talked about the path, a spiritual path. We talked about the journey. Let's talk about love. Now, when I say love this time, I don't mean love for another person in a relationship or sexually or anything else. Let's talk about the way love is viewed today. What do we need, Spirit, Source? What do we need to understand about love today? Ooh, that jumped over rather quick. King of Cups. King of Cups. Look at this guy. I mean, of course he's a king, so he's going to have everything. But honestly, he's looking at his cup. He's looking, he has Saturn behind him. He's looking at this cup as if, wow, he can't even believe he's on the throne. He's sitting there with this great satisfaction. And right now it's 4:44 p.m. I forgot what the 444 means, and angel numerology, but somebody look that up, please. I'm going to look it up and find out for myself, but you guys all look that up. Look up the 444. Thank you. But he's satisfied. He's content with the way that the people, his people, love him, and that he's being loved. He's content with that. He's looking at his cup and feeling that love of abundance, right? So, what? Cups? Coins, money, rods, strength, decision, swords, cutting loose, cups, love. I asked, how are we, what are we supposed to be? We're supposed to be content with the love we get from people, no matter whether we like it or not, whether it's deserved or not, whether it's the way we want to see it or not. Be content with how people show their love towards you, or affection towards you, or that sense of compassion. But look up, what is love? It is cups. The odds of 1 in 4 that I could have pulled out another card when I'm talking about love. Money. People want to know about money. Where's the next money going to come from? Will money ever come back? Will money be the same? Talk about money. Oh, come on, you guys. And you guys think I'm a witch? Look at this. I said talk about money. What did I just say? What represents money? The pentacles, right? Pentacle or coins. Pentacles. I said, let's talk about this. The energy in me decides what's coming out. I'm asking for everything that I've seen on this journey. This is the treasure trove of pentacles here, of money and wealth. The Ten of Pentacles talks about reaching a point of equilibrium. You say equilibrium, Lawrence? A balance? Yes. Here's my peak. Here's 0. Here's 10. We're at a 10 right now. The world, the planet, the energy of this planet is, we've reached a point where wealth was so stupid for so few. So stupid for so few. This is stupid. 0 to 10 on abundance. There's a wealth here, and you see this now. There's a rat, a mouse or a rat sitting right here on this card. A mouse or a rat. There's a turtle at the bottom. We went too fast. We should have taken this journey slower in our lifetime about achieving money. We went to the point where people were willing to kill, steal, cheat, take away from, lie, create bogus types of investments in banking. Our banking institutions, all of them have cheated us horribly. Governing and channeling what money is worth and the value of it amongst themselves, thinking that we as people were foolish and never knew. Well, that's a bullshit statement, because hopefully many of us knew. And we stopped supporting that. We talk about money, and how we view this in this world right now is that there's a shitload of it in all the wrong hands. Shitload of it in all the wrong hands, all the wrong people controlling it. Our government takes from us each paycheck between 20 and 30% of our money. For them doing what for us exactly? I'm sorry, what for us? How many people out there are applying for unemployment insurance and getting turned down? Or saying, well, you didn't qualify because you didn't do something this year or last year or whatever. You pay into that. You pay into that as insurance that when you need money, the government's going to give you money. That's funny. I call that funny money. So, well, guess what the money's, the governor, the politicians, and the president and everybody else is doing with this funny money of yours? Oh, they're taking trips and flying their families on private planes or Air Force One to vacation spots and everything else. Yeah. Should our president go on vacations? Absolutely. Take Air Force One? Maybe not. Charter a bus? Have Secret Service follow you? Come on, we're going to spend $100,000, $500,000 for you to take Air Force One up and go fly someplace and have dinner and a complete staff of people following around to what? To do what? They're not helping us. They may be helping you. Anyways, I hope you can appreciate the energy and what I said about the cards aren't magical. The energy is an influencer on the card. It's either you or them. I pulled a card. Well, this energy could be yours or theirs, or have people start telling you the story first. Then if the cards match, can you really say no? That's not the truth. Anyways, I love you all. I hope this candle will burn continuously. Tomorrow I'll start doing individual reads for the signs. And I hate myself when I say that, for the signs. I'm going to do them because you believe in them. And if you believe in them, it's important to me. And guess what? I'm also wearing my Jesus sandals. Believe it or not, these things were actually made in Israel out of camel. So I can only pray and have hoped in my life that I would walk 1,000 steps in Jesus' feet in the same sandals that he wore. I'm trying to get there. And I hope you do too. Again, my name is Lawrence. I am the Blue-Dyed Emperor. And I send love and light, praise, and just a genuine understanding I pray that all of you have for the people around you, your family members. You're sequestered in rooms and tight quarters with people. Even my frustration gets to a level. But remember to remember yourself and to remember their free will. And saying that, I bid you a goodbye until next time.